So we've got a recorded version of this as well. Kind of type something in, folks, if you can hear me and see me. Just want to make sure. Welcome, guys. Esther, Jorge, Shalom, Trent, and I know a few other folks are going to be joining us. I am excited. Next hour, I want to give you my best in terms of where is my PowerPoint thing? Here it is. The 3 steps. That's kind of what I want to, share with you. Slideshow went from the beginning, and you guys should be able to hopefully see the screen and so forth. Swap. Yeah, that should be good, I hope. But yeah, let me know that you guys can hear me and see me from, hey, Jorge, from San Antonio, Texas. Folks, use the chat thing instead of the Q&A, if you don't mind. That would be awesome. The chat pane more, then I'll be looking at that. All right, awesome, great. You guys can hear me, see me, and that's all good stuff. So here's my plan and my thoughts. I want to make the next hour about you. You clearly have joined this webinar. You're here because you want to learn something that's going to be helpful to you in your practice. I am not offering, sharing, or giving CPE credits, so you're not there for the CPE credits. So that tells me a lot about you in terms of you're here for the learning, for the education, and so forth. So let's make it interactive. I want to answer all your questions. I want to help you through things that you may be struggling with. So I can give you a little bit of a kind of a background, and then we can open it up with questions. And if you're okay with that, give me a thumbs up or say a yes or something. That would be great. And by the way, the other thing I want you to do is when you respond back, say not only to the panelists, but to the attendees as well. So we've got a small group here. It's going to be about 10 of us or so. So let's have fun and let's learn in the process, right? Let me share with you stuff that's going to make a big difference in your practice. All right, Azador, good to have you here, man. Awesome, great. Hey, what about the rest of you? If you're good with that, let's rock and roll. So just kind of type in a yes and do all attendees. Respond to all attendees. It's like a click, something you click there, a drop down rather, and do all attendees. So, all right, awesome, great. You got it, man. Cool, beautiful. All right, so is there 1 or 2 things that are coming in your mind that you want to get out of this session today? Because this is going to be very customized to you, more so than ever. I've got about 60 slides, but I don't plan to go through all of them. I only want to go through stuff that's going to make a difference for where you are in your journey. So what are you most excited to get out of this session, or the 1 or 2 things, the 1 or 2 challenges, the 1 or 2 goals that you're working on? So giving you guys a few seconds to share that. And what I want to say here is that this is an important time of the year. We've got 4 months before the year ends: September, October, November, and December, right? We've got 4 months to really make a big difference, or to really work on your practice before we get into tax season, and you may start getting into the working in it more so, right? So this is the time to make a big dent in with your goals, and even formulating goals and working on the right ones. And so with that said, what's most important for you? What do you want to get out of this? What are the 1 or 2 things that you want to achieve over the next 4 months? Giving you guys about 10, 15 seconds to share no right or wrong answers. It's what you feel. It's what you're thinking about. It's what you feel is right for you. And then I'll kind of dive in and help you with that, what you share. What are you most excited to get out of this session? So we've got several of you saying marketing. Marketing for after tax, October 15th, tax planning, more new clients, clear path of what my next step is in client acquisition. A couple more of you, and then that's one of the areas that I want to cover, but I'm going to go there more so than the other two areas. Designing a system to handle new clients and the staff. What do you need most right now in your practice? Guys, think hard. Reflect on this question. What do you need most right now in your practice? As Adore saying, marketing is definitely something that's always on my mind because that's needed to grow. I'm interested to learn more about your thoughts regarding acquiring a small CPA practice. All right, awesome, great. So folks, let's talk about client acquisition. And there's two ways to get client acquisition. One is organically, and then the other is through acquiring a firm. Organically and acquiring a firm, ideally you want to have an open mind to do both, because the right firm, acquiring the right firm can accelerate your growth. But the question is finding the right firm. And what is a right firm? The right firm is one that already has clients that you want. If it has got clients that you don't want, then it is not a right firm. Case in point, as you guys know, I'm in New Jersey. My firm, and I'm sitting here in my firm, it's in New Jersey. Just this week, and I've got somebody on my team that is, a client acquisition. I mean, they're in the practice acquisition, right? They're looking for firms that are of the right, if they're the right fit for us. And yesterday, the person who leads that division in my firm, he brought in, he came across a firm that's doing 1,050,000 in revenues. That's what they did last year, 1,050,000. And when he dissected that firm, they've got 1,040 clients paying an average of $200 a tax return. They've got 550 business tax returns, paying like a small, a smaller amount, and they've got like 50 clients that are paying an average of like $2,000 a year. And so this firm is generating $1 million, and it's got all these clients like 16, 17, and 220 payroll clients, right? So it's got about 2,000 clients, but those clients are of no good to me in my firm because that's not the right client. It's, this is a high volume, low fee type of a practice. My practice, if I was to, if I'm considering to acquire, is quality clients paying average fees of $12,000 a year in accounting fees. 1040s average is much higher than $200 and so forth. So point being, if it's the right firm, it's worth it. It can be a great way to acquire, a thing to acquire and to grow. But if it's not the right firm, then it's not, right? So we have to be very selective in the criteria when it comes to finding the right firm through acquisition. And then, of course, the other part is organic. The good thing about organic is you can cherry pick, and you can create a marketing system that brings in exactly the types of clients that you want, right? So that's the beauty about organic. It takes longer because you buy $1 million practice. Now you have overnight, you can own $1 million practice, but it can be a nightmare if it's got the wrong practice with the wrong clients or the team members and so forth. As you were asking a question, yes, you're absolutely correct. Have you acquired in the past? If so, how did the transition flow from the prior owner to you? So I've come close to it, but I have not. I have just simply in New Jersey, and this varies, state to state, city to city, where there's not a whole lot of firms that come up on the market. And then every so often one comes up that seems potential, but then when you start looking at the numbers and the clients and so forth, it's not. So I personally have not. I've helped many practitioners acquire firms. I've got one coaching member currently who is looking to acquire a few $100,000 practice, and that gets him close to the $1 million mark because he's got a $500,000-$600,000 practice. So that gets him to the 7-figure mark and so forth, right? So any questions, folks, from any of what I shared? Just kind of, this is home ground, for you. So just kind of ask the question. But a number of you wanted to learn about client acquisition. So I think let's go there. Sure, you're welcome. Let's go into client acquisition. And if you were to start up, I want to just kind of move right to client acquisition, if you guys don't mind. Go right to that because that's what you guys want. That's what I'm going to offer. But before I go into client, acquisition or client attraction, I think I would be, doing a disservice if I don't give you the big picture, right? The big framework is important, and that big framework came from my own journey. Having my own practice for 24 years. The first 6-7 years, I struggled. You know my story. Went into debt, $100,000 of credit card debt. And I was working long and hard, and I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way, to do this. And I started, just hungrily, looking for solutions. And first I went into the personal development space, and I came across people that you guys have heard, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, and they all helped me from a mindset standpoint and from a personal standpoint, personal growth standpoint of being a good human being and the right character and so forth, character building stuff, right? That really kind of got me, it really helped me from that standpoint, but I still wasn't getting the answer. And my turning point came when I came across, where is he? Michael Gerber. You guys should be able to see this, right? So came across Michael Gerber, and that made the way I was approaching my practice was like an accountant. But if I owned a business and I wanted to make it, if I wanted to grow it, I had to be an entrepreneur. So, he taught me systems. Everything is a system. Don't be people dependent, be system dependent. So I learned it firsthand from Michael Gerber back in 99 to, for several years I was, in his program, getting everything that I, know about systems and so forth, and then putting it into practice in my own firm. And I didn't stop there. I started studying every other industry, restaurant industry, and the other professional practices like the dental profession and so forth. And I just started putting all that into effect in my own practice. And this kind of resulted in me creating a lifestyle practice, right? A practice that gives me the freedom to work as much as I want and so forth with a great team of people. And then the last 10 years, I've been sharing my message with practitioners from all across the country. And in this process, I created the Genius model, right? And that's the framework that I want to give you the big picture. The Genius model is right here. And in order to create a lifestyle practice, you want to pay attention to 3 areas: client attraction, building a championship team, and streamline operation. Now, this is one of those things like a bar stool. You can pay it, you can say, you know what, I'm going to focus in on one and not the other. Yeah, I mean, just case in point, do client attraction, but if you don't have a team in place, if you don't, your system's not streamlined, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be a revolving door with these clients. They'll come in, they'll say, oh, no, this wasn't what I was promised. This is crazy. And they'll leave. Now you've spent all the money, or you've spent the money on putting the system together, and it can be amazing, right? Your client attraction system, it's bringing in the right clients and all that, but you don't have the team in place and you don't have streamlined operations. So that is not going to work, right? And same for the other things, you can have the best operation in place. You can have a streamlined systems and everything, but you don't have the right team and you don't have clients, then that's not going to work. Or you can have streamlined operation and championship team, and you guys are going to be like, if you don't have the client base, the clients coming in, that's not going to work either. So you really need to you've got to be paying attention to all these three areas. That's come from my own personal experience, and then the last 11 and a half years or 12 years working with other practitioners and helping them create transformative practices is these three areas, right? It's going to give you then the freedom, the income, and the impact. And so then you see the outer layer, right? So big picture is I call them practice accelerators, right? So for client attraction, you want to have, you want to fill up the pipeline with the right type of clients. So you need to get that system in place, that funnel working for you. You want to build authority so that you become the go-to, the authority, the expert, the people, the expert people respect and they want to work with, and then skillful conversions. When you're sitting or meeting, having a Zoom call with a prospective client, you're converting them in a very, with the right fees, and you're not coming across as a salesperson, right? So that's kind of, the three practice accelerators for client attraction. And we'll go into, that's kind of where we'll spend more of our time today, because that's what you guys want. You want the question, what you most want is client attraction. And then on the streamline operation, we need the right pricing, the right fee structure, the right services and the right fees. Because if you don't have that, you're going to attract clients, and when you're sitting in front of them and it's like, all right, this is not the services I want, or I'm not willing to pay, that's going to be a problem. So we need to get that practice accelerator working, and then 5-star service, and then systemization and automation, right? And then on the championship team side, you want to build a team that is going to be engaged, that is going to that's going to help you create and sustain a successful practice. So the way to do that is you gotta create goals for the firm, for them, so that they can help you achieve them. So we need that smart hiring, bring in the right people, and then it's going to be about creating that winning culture. So people are coming in, they're finding the work meaningful, they're enjoying coming to work, they're making a difference in what they're doing. It's not a 9 to 5. They don't see this as a 9 to 5. Their heart and soul is in the place, right? So now you've got not only you who is looking to grow and build this practice, you've got a team of ambassadors, right? That are with you, supporting you, that are hungry to grow this business, to build the practice with you. So that's where folks, championship team comes in place. So is this making sense? I just want to bring it, come back to you. Any questions from what I just shared when it comes to client attraction, championship team, why you have to pay attention to all three areas, right? And I don't mind having a heavier focus on one. So we can say, hey man, I'm in the startup stage. I want to do more client attraction. So let's get that working. But soon thereafter, we'll need to get the other two areas going, because you'll sign up 3 to 5 clients. It's like, okay, no system in place. You got to then have streamline operation. You got to have the team in place and so forth. So what resonated the most with you folks from what I just shared? Give you guys a few seconds, type in your answers. What was most impactful for you? What made sense for you? What did you agree with? What did you disagree with? What did you find relevant to where you are in your entrepreneurial journey. Give you guys a few more seconds. What resonated the most with you? Which one do you need the most right now? What's your biggest challenge? Good stuff, man. I'm reading it as it's coming. This is amazing. We'll have a great discussion. So folks, a couple more comments from what I've shared, and we'll have a very healthy and useful discussion. All right, you guys can read stuff. So thanks everyone for sharing it with to all attendees. And so here it is. Cindy saying 5-star service, being able to serve the client at an excellent level. Yeah, that's one of the things that really excites me, is to see, to make a difference for the clients. Really, that and the employees. I mean, personally, I get very excited about that. Those two things, fulfilling, making a difference for people, those two areas that I feel I serve as a leader in my firm. Shalom saying, seeing all three legs together is key. Yeah, totally. Jorge is saying, I'm still working on clients' work and thinking and working on developing a business. So that is something, thank you for sharing that, because that is something that is, I think, relevant to a lot of practitioners. And this is the big challenge, the big problem, the glass ceiling that most practitioners are not able to ever get out of. It's a deadly curse in a way, right? We bring in clients and we get busy servicing those clients, and so busy servicing those clients that we drown, I'm using a metaphor, but we drown in it instead of being able to manage it and have the time, the energy, and the attention to grow the practice. Because that is what is going to, that's going to keep the firm stagnant, right? If you're not able to then grow it, you're kind of drowning in the work. I'm really having this conversation with everyone, even though, one person shared it, because I just see this so much, is working in it day in, day out, involved in the tyranny of the work from morning to evening or night. Talking to one practitioner yesterday, very early start in the morning, finishing very late at night, not enough time, and yet very capable of growing into a 7-figure practice, but stuck at a few $100,000, never being able to, get above it, right? So anyone in the startup mode, we want to make sure that you bring in the right clients from the start. And if you're already in practice for a long time, we need to find a way to to get you to do both the work in it and the work on it. So hopefully that's helpful to what I just shared. And I invite more comments, more dialogue on what I just shared. Cindy saying client attraction is the biggest challenge. Yeah, we'll dive more into that as well. Azador saying each category makes clear sense. However, being able to obtain those clients, especially during this time, is tough. Cool, we'll talk about it. I agree with Jorge. I am on the same boat. At one point, I decided to hire a freelancer to obtain leads for me. I just started my practice this year. So client attraction is what you want, right? I mean, I kind of get that from your message there during this time. All right, cool. Let's go with client attraction, talk more about that. How do you acquire quality clients during the pandemic, right? Cool. Let's go there. Here is the opportunity. Here is the opportunity for practitioners, more so than ever. You guys can read for yourselves, but I'm going to go through it very quickly. You know, the pandemic has brought a new level of awareness to small business owners. The vast majority are in bare survival mode. They, had weak balance sheets, low profits, and now more than ever, they are ready to have a conversation about doing it in a different way. So you want to become their advisor, their CPA advisor, their business advisor as part of what services you provide to them, right? So regardless of the times that, that we are in, if we come to the marketplace with value, then we are going to be needed and wanted. Everybody got that? Because it's crucially important. Regardless of how the market is, what's going on, if we come to the marketplace with value, we are going to get an open door. People are going to open the door for us. And we're going to enter the door and we're going to have a conversation with that person about their business. And we start demonstrating value. What are they going to say? They're going to want to hire you. Not everyone, some of them, right? Some of them are going to want to hire you. And that is how you bring business in any economy. We got to have the conversation with the person, the conversation that's helping them. It's the conversation that's in their mind. That's the conversation we want to have with our clients, with our business owners, with our prospects, with our clients as well. So what conversation are they having? What conversation is in the business owner's mind? So I'm going to invite feedback from you guys for you to share, because we'll learn more when we make this a two-way, interaction, and you're thinking and you're answering questions from what you know. What is the conversation that is in people's minds? Think of one prospective client or one business client of yours. What are they thinking? Giving you guys 10, 15, 20 seconds to share. What's the conversation going on in an entrepreneur's mind? Folks, just fire away, man. This is like a easy, juicy question. What is going on in the mind of an entrepreneur? I want to hear like 5 or 7 different things. Awesome, it's coming in now. What problems, Shalom? Can this guy help me solve my problems? What are those problems? Kind of give me more there. All right, beautiful. You guys are amazing. I love this group. All right, so the question was, what's going on in the entrepreneur's mind? right? With everything that has happened. Esther saying, how can I reduce my tax liability cash flow? Good. Tax liability is important. How can they reduce? Because that's affecting their cash flow, right? They don't want to pay more taxes than they have to. They'll feel like they're getting messed up or screwed. And then cash flow is important for them, right? Cash flow is really important for them. Jorge is saying, my experience has been that they do not understand what I do as a CPA besides the tax return and the QBO and payroll. Yeah. And so that's kind of, we're going to talk about the solution, how you can help them, right? We'll talk about the solution is what do you do? But first is what problems are they faced with? What's the conversation in their mind? Can this guy help me solve my problems? Cindy said, Esther agreed. Ezra was saying, that's my sales pitch. I show them how the overhead is tremendously lowered if they were to outsource to my firm. I feel comfortable with that aspect, but it's to find those clients that are in need. Cool. But what is there? So this is the solution. As though you're giving them the solution that hire you. Yeah, that's your sales pitch. But what's the conversation in their mind? I want you to think about your prospect entrepreneur as a standalone, apart from what you're doing and how you can help them. Just as a human being, this person is in business. What are they thinking? Generally, what are they thinking? What's going on in their head? Because this is really important. If we want to create a marketing strategy, we got to understand our prospect. And this question is getting you to understand your prospect. So what is going on in the mind of your prospect? Lower taxes, lower AR, increasing profits. Cindy saying, Isidore in need and actually willing to work with an outside person. Where is the money going? How will they pay their bills? If I'm profitable, where is the cash? Will the accountant make my life easier? How can I sell more? Yeah, good. I think you guys are all kind of touching on it, or what is going on in the mind of the entrepreneur. Look, the entrepreneur started their business. They had a certain vision, right? They started their business. They've put everything on at risk here. They left their job. Their family is relying on it. They may have kids, grandkids, and all that. They've started their business. And what they're thinking of is like, man, what are the next 4 months going to look like from a cash flow standpoint, from a profit standpoint, from a customer standpoint? Which clients am I going to lose? Which ones am I going to get? How do I grow? Like this is stuff that's going on in their head, probably 24/7, right? This is what they're like confused. How is COVID going to affect their business? And next year, what's going to happen next year? Should they keep their employees? Should they let them go? They don't have anyone in their corner helping them with any of these, right? Their spouse is probably sick and tired of talking about this stuff, right? She or he has their own life. And like, this is your baby. You get it. You fix it, right? And the kids probably don't want to be in this conversation, and their employees don't want to be in this conversation. So you got the entrepreneur alone, right? Trying to figure it out, right? It was tough enough to do business in a normal situation. And now we've been in this whole different situation, and they don't have anyone helping them with understanding what do the next 4 months look like, cash flow wise, profit wise, staying in business wise, overhead wise, tax wise, and so forth. And if you understand that and get that, which I think you are in this conversation, right? It's what is going on in the mind of the prospect. If we have that conversation when we allow the business owner to talk about these problems that they are having, you give them a solution that helps them with this problem. And so what is the solution, folks? What is your services package And I don't want you to think like an accountant. I want you to think like an entrepreneur. What is your services package to help this struggling entrepreneur who doesn't know what is going on and how things are going to happen in his business? So question for you to kind of write down here. What is the solution? What is your services package look like to give them this level, to help them get through this? Folks, I know you're thinking 10, 15 seconds. What does that look like from a solution standpoint or from a services package? How do you arrive from a place of value? How can you help them get from where they are at in this predicament that they're in to where they want to go? Because this entrepreneur still has their dream. That dreams have been stashed away, they have been beaten up, they've been told by the world and their family that it's not possible. So this is kind of what they're going through. All right, giving you guys a few more seconds to share. What does your solution look like? What does your services package look like? How do you bring value to this client or this prospective client? All right. Here are the comments. 222, how do I sell more? Will the account make my life easier? Ezra saying basically that I'm the expert in my field, and if they were to outsource to me, they can focus on their mission, growing their business. But right now, they don't know how to grow their business, right? This is kind of where they don't know. So they need help with growing their business because things have totally changed. Cindy's saying they come to hate the paperwork when it takes them away from the part of the business they love to do. And how can their business prosper and still give me some time at home because lifestyle was part of my dream? Okay, cool. Ezra saying complete handoff and allow them to focus on the business. Similarly with how I feel about marketing. Once I get big enough, I'll certainly outsource that aspect. Shalom says CFO services as the solution. Char saying deliver financial reports on time, provide a financial analysis on the business, show them how they can save money. All right, I'm going to read a couple of comments and then we'll kind of have a dialogue on that. Hoy is saying, I've been in public accounting for 24 years. During the last 5 years, we've been changing from tax prep and QBO training review for more consulting equals more profits, less stress. Cool. Esther, proper bookkeeping to identify waste areas and opportunities to more than tax planning. All right, you guys are hitting the nail on the head because this is the conversation that's going to resonate with your business prospect. You talk about financial reports, you talk about QuickBooks, you talk about timely reports and all that. The business owner doesn't care a whole lot about that. That's accounting terminology. That's accounting verbiage. So I want you guys to kind of get that out of your vocabulary as much as you can because you're losing your customer's attention, your prospect's attention to use that. So your services package has to help them grow their business. It's going to help them become more profitable. It has to help them with better cash flow, right? I mean, that's it. Your services, forget all the other processes and all that stuff that you're getting muddled up in. That's what your prospect wants. Can Esther help me to grow my business? Can she help me get a clearer view of my cash? Can she help me become more profitable? And if you are sitting in front of a business that's doing about $1 million in revenue or $600,000 in revenue, and they want to grow, and you have this conversation with them, while the current accountant is bogged down with QuickBooks and accounting verbiage, and they are not coming as a value add, looking at historical data, then guess what? This business owner, because they are astute, they are in business, they're astute, they want to work, they're always looking for working with people that are going to help them take their business to the next level, right? They're open to that. And if you come with that value proposition, you have this conversation with the business owner, you understand the challenges, you understand their problems, and then your solution is exactly aligned to what their problems are. I want to grow this business. I haven't grown it. I want to make it more profitable. My profits are shrinking. I want to make, have a better cash, view of my, I want to view my cash flow better. I want to know where the money is going. And I want to know how my cash is going to be in the next 8 weeks or 13 weeks or so. You guys are seeing that? How the problems that this entrepreneur is faced with and your solution is perfectly aligned. Because right now, the current provider doesn't have it aligned. The current provider, the business owner has their problems, and the current provider is in cloud 9, talking about timely financial reports, which don't mean a whole lot to this business owner. Is this making sense, folks? This is the crux of CPA firm owners that are going to really take off in the next few years, right? Otherwise, it's going to be the mass population CPA firm owners that are going to struggle. Those that get what I just shared are the ones that are going to really explode. And the beautiful thing about this is we are coming from a place of making a difference for our clients. It's really helping our clients. It's not self-serving. If we talk about QuickBooks and financial statements, and if that's the conversation, it's about us. It's not about the client. And we need to make it about the client, right? We've got to become very customer-centric. And to start with, if we started with having conversations with business owners to understand their problems, so we get it right in our heads what they're struggling with sometimes no answer. Don't give them a solution. Even if you want to go the next couple of weeks with, let me just understand what's going on with my business clients or with prospects, just ask them the question saying, you know what, I don't have a solution. I haven't come up with a solution. I can help you come up with a solution. But if you don't have a package in place, you can just say, man, I just want to know what's going on in your business. What's keeping you up at night? What are you worried about? What are you concerned about? And the more you know your clients, your prospects, you are going to be able to sell them in any economy. Because what you've done is you've adapted, you've pivoted your services, your marketing to what's needed right now in the marketplace. Cool, good stuff. Yeah. Esther saying, Shalom saying, very good, Salim. Esther saying, speak in layman terms. 100%, yeah. Advise them, speak in layman terms, in a way they can understand. Ezra is saying, if we are speaking about this particular time, then I think it's important for any CPA to advise their clients with what's going on regarding the stimulus packages. They should be knowledgeable in applying for PPP loan forgiveness. I think so. I think it's one tiny thing. It's not the thing, as it were. It's not the solution because everyone else is talking. There's a lot of conversation on the online about a lot of advice about PPP forgiveness and so forth. So when it comes to building authority, I think it's one of the topics that you want to talk about, you want to educate people on. But I think it's got to be more than that. It's got to be around growth, profitability, cash flow. Yeah, you've got to start. You want to build authority around those topics. Come to the marketplace with that level of expertise. Come to prospective clients with those types of dialogue, conversations, and engaging dialogue with them, right? Good. I hope this was useful and helpful. Any questions you have with anything we've shared, that's please, kind of type it in. Here, there's a framework I want to share with you guys that is here. So the 5 steps to cool. Thanks, Azador. Got it. 5 steps to marketing success. Become clear about the target market, bottom left. Yeah, decide on which target market you want to work with. It can be industry specific, but it does not have to be. It could be, and that's how I started. My practice early on, not started, but after a few years in it, after attracting clients that were like, I don't know, $100 a month or whatever, or $200 a month type clients, decided, all right, the clients that I want to work with are going to be $500,000 to $5 million in revenues, right? So that was my target market, and they've got to be growth minded. And so decide on a target market. It can be a niche, but it can be revenue based as well, and so forth. And then provide to them a solution that's going to give them certainty of result, right? That's going to help them solve their problem. So your solution, your services helps them solve their problem. And if you do it along the lines of what we talked about, growth, profitability, cash flow, and if your solution is helping them address that, you're going to be a winner, or you're going to be in. And then have a conversion tool, a strategy session. When you're meeting with prospective clients, you've got the scripting, the right questions to ask so that you take them from being a cold prospect to becoming a warm prospect to becoming a client. And then media is, see what's the best way to get in front of these clients. Is it networking? Is it online marketing? Is it Facebook advertising or Google AdWords? Is it social media? Is it creating content? How are you driving traffic? Is it LinkedIn? Reach out on LinkedIn, right? So decide on what that is, and then have a time frame. The next 4 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, you want to bring in X number of clients, right? So that's kind of the framework that I use when I'm coaching, practice owners. We're really doing a deep dive into each of these areas and creating it for them, with them, so that then they've got a system, right? Each of these things I just covered, 5 steps, there's got to be a system for it. Like target market, let's have a system for it of identifying, becoming crystal clear of who your target market is, where do they hang out, what's the best way to find them, and so forth. And then it goes from there. Good. Any questions? A couple of resources I want to share with you guys while questions are coming up, because look, this is a conversation we've had in the last 15 minutes or so. Do you want to do this alone? Maybe, maybe not. If you want my help on this, there's a couple of things that I want to share with you. One is a one-on-one strategy session to help you, and you can see it here. I think it's in the chat thing as well. Actually, what I should do is copy this, so I invite you for a one-on-one strategy session to see, hey, what is it that you're looking to do, and what's the best, fastest way to get you there, right? When I talk to practitioners on this, they walk away from it, with a ton of ideas. You may decide to work with me. You can decide not to work with me. That is fine, but you're going to get a ton of value by through a strategy call. And to, for us to understand, where are you at now? Where do you want to go? What's getting in your way? What are the roadblocks, and how to overcome them? And that becomes a plan. And then once we've got a plan, you and I, you can say, all right, Salim, I need your help with executing it. Or you can say, what, this was great. I do have a plan now, and that's it. So that's a resource here for you. Hopefully this link is live, and that should work. And then the other resource that I've created is a free Facebook group. So I want to give that to you as well. And the free Facebook group is right here. The free Facebook group is more passive. You'll be on your own. You'll get some ideas. I'll do Facebook lives, and you'll have that kind of stuff. But if you really want to accelerate and take things to the next level, and the next 4 months are important. The next 12 months are going to be a ton of opportunities for practice owners. And I've been doing this with other practice owners, transforming their practice. Signed up, a coaching member yesterday, based in Colorado. Understands the environment we're in, wants to transform. An hour back from Oklahoma, Mark. I don't know if you're on it, but he got on board. So these are just practitioners like you and I that took me up on the strategy session, and we took the journey, started the journey there. All right, cool. Everyone should have got that. Good. Question from Isidore. You're welcome, Trent. Quick question regarding the fees. How do you come up with a fixed monthly fee for a particular client? I personally take a holistic approach and look at all the angles to come up with a number, but I've heard from a few places that they take a percentage of the business's annual gross sales. So fees is a function of value. If you can show the client that what you're going to do for them is going to bring in this much in gross revenues and net profit and cash flow, if you're establishing that kind of value, then the fee has to be higher than somebody who is doing accounting stuff, right? Who is doing accounting and tech stuff. There's a quote, I don't know if you guys know Seth Godin. He's a smart marketer. I followed him for, I just wrote his thing. You don't have to buy his book or anything like that. One of his first books I read was Purple Cow, talking about the need to be different. That's what a purple cow is, right? You've got a herd of cows, you've got a herd of CPAs, not disrespect to anyone, but the one that's different is the one that's seen, the one that's visible, right? And so he wrote this book a number of years back. It's one of the first books I wrote on I read on the subject of business like some 20 years back. But recently I saw one of his, emails that he said, a service provider that provides a product by a certain date and time has to be more valuable and needs to charge a higher fee than someone who says your tax return is going to be, ready in the next couple of weeks or so, right? And so it's being more valuable by giving the time. And this is just like an example, right? And so Isidore, when it comes to charging fees, the thing you want to keep in mind is you don't have to be competitive. You don't have to see what others are charging, because what value you're bringing to the table is going to be very different. If you follow what I've talked about and the value, the value proposition, the way we've talked about it, you're in a different planet. You're just at a different, there's no competition there, because that's not what your competitors are doing. And you come up with that kind of value, then your fees can be much, much higher, right, compared to any other CPAs, because you're really helping your clients in a big way. Growth, profits, cash flow. A CPA that charges a fee to help the client with that is going to demands a higher fee. Now here's the mistake to avoid. You cannot provide that service for a few $100, for $500 or $700 or $1,000 a month. You want to start looking at fees that are much higher than that, right? because you're such, you want to make a difference for that. You're going to meet with this client on a monthly basis or twice a month. You're going to have a meeting with them. There's going to be financial analysis work for you to do and so forth, right? So for you to do this CFOs type stuff that I think one of, somebody said, Esther, you said, right? Yeah, if you want to do that type of work, you want to charge the right fees for that. And so is there a market? Are there people that want this service? Yeah, they are. There is a good number of business owners out there, as I said in one of the slides, right? The awareness that the pandemic has brought about is for the business owners, man, the way I've been doing things is not the best way. My cash reserves have sucked. I haven't, I've just kind of done things from the seat of my pants. That's kind of what the business owner is saying, and they want to do it in a strategic way. So here's what you want to do is you want to start creating marketing that talks about this, that educates the marketplace about how they need to do, how they can do their business in a different way. Because once we start educating, that's part of building authority, right? The genius model, the outer layer, one of the practice accelerators for client attraction is building authority. So you want to start educating businesses, and your marketing starts with that, right? The marketing is the front end, sales is the back end, and they both have, they both go well. If your marketing doesn't do the right job, then sales becomes really difficult with clients that are saying, what? $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month? But if marketing does the right job, it educates your prospects about the things that they can be doing to grow their business in a big way, then the people that are going to raise their hand and say, wow, this is interesting. I never thought about growing my business in this way, looking at my fee structure or pricing, or looking at my overheads this way, or restructuring the way I do business, right? So when you start educating and creating content, videos, written stuff around that, then the people that are coming and saying, wow, this is interesting, they want to meet with you, they want to talk to you, and now you've got a prospective client that has warmed up. Marketing has warmed them up, and they're now ready to say, yeah, tell me more. How can I do this in my business, right? And now you've got a potential client that's going to pay you $1,500 to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, right? So this is happening already, right? There's CPA firms that are doing this successfully, and there's no reason anyone in this room cannot do it in their own practice. All right, let's see. Yeah, Hoy is saying bookkeepers charge about $500 a month just for compliance without any consulting expectations. So yeah, make sure your fees are right. If you want to deliver on the promise, then you've got to make sure that your fees are right. There'll be a certain percentage, as I said, of the market that'll say yes, and there'll be a larger percentage that will say no, and that's okay. That's just how it is. Every prospect does not have to become a client, right? All right, folks, it's like 1:59 p.m. East Coast time. We've got like a few seconds. Let's finish off with perhaps quick thoughts. How was this for you? One thing that you're walking away from. So I'm going to give everyone like 30 seconds. Type in your answer. What was most impactful for you? The one thing that's stayed with you, the one idea you got from this. Few more seconds, folks. Quick soundbite. What was? All right, let me quickly read them and then we'll finish off, folks. You guys were amazing. As I was saying, very nice to have a discussion with you and hear feedback from the group. Awesome, good. Great having you, man. Hoya saying clear on the 3-step methodology. Super. Cindy saying clarifying. Need to have a better picture of the ideal client relationship or what exactly I can do for them. Yep, thank you. You're welcome. Shalom saying help to crystallize my thinking about how to approach delivering services. It's about the prospect client and listening and understanding the issues. Also focus on target market, not taking just anyone. Beautiful. Char saying the one idea that resonates is to think about what I can do for my clients, market differently. Yes. Esther, how you speak to your prospects is important. I will help you. It'll help you grow your business and make it profitable. Super. All right, man. This was good. Hope, yeah, I see that you guys got a lot of value. I enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a great weekend, long weekend, right before Labor Day. Some of you are gonna, whoever's taking me up, the Facebook group or the other stuff that I gave the links for, the one-on-one. If you want to continue this conversation with me, so we can see how we can bring it home for you in your practice, then take me up on my free offer. And with that said, folks, I am going to say goodbye and take care. Thanks. Bye. You're welcome.